The YESHA Council has agreed to voluntarily destroy the community of Migron under the promise that the town will be relocated, but the residents may not be so willing to give up their homes. Yoni Kipinski reported from the endangered Jewish community.
Shalom, Aaron.
Shalom, Yoni. Now, what are the details regarding the deal the YESHA Council cut with the government?
Well, from what we understand from the reports that are coming from the YESHA Council, they agreed unanimously to evacuate the whole community of Migron. This comes a week after the Binyamin Region Council rejected the idea. We're talking about Migron with over 40 families. This is the largest community in Judea and Samaria that the government has termed as a ma'achaz, an illegal outpost, claiming that it was built after a 2001 agreement with the United States that called for no more communities being built in Judea and Samaria. And so because the United States said no, this community, this Jewish community in the land of Israel is a problem. And so the council agreed to relocate Migron to a different area, an area closer to Jerusalem, still in what is called YESHA, Judea and Samaria.
The first thing, one of the most important things is that we are going to populate a place in which there are no Jews living today. There are going to be Jews living, building a thriving community there. The second thing that it may be as close as a few hundred meters from the location of the mobile houses of the caravans of Migron. The third thing that is very important, it should be completely legalized by the government, approved every detail. No change will take place, no one will move, no furniture will move until the last home of the permanent yeshuv of Migron is completed. We are not going to believe this time the government. They have to finish their part of the pattern, the agreement.
And what was the impetus for this voluntary self-expulsion?
Well, this whole agreement comes following a petition by Arab organizations and the leftist Peace Now organization to the High Court in Israel, claiming that this land is actually Arab-owned. According to the people here in Migron, they have the paperwork and everything done, and they could deal with this legal issues. As Migron founders are claiming that the lands they're being asked to relinquish were purchased by Jews through an Arab-fronted, but Migron-controlled purchasing agency.
This
whole procedure of the Supreme Court as if this is a private Arab property is false. We don't accept this, neither the fundamental nor on the practical level. They didn't look into the details. We are staying here. Formally, there are listings as if this is Arab land, but this is false listing. False listing from the time of the Jordanian occupation. We have to deal with this, and we told the Defense Ministry that we will do whatever is needed to work things out.
In no way this so-called agreement or this pattern of solving the problem interferes with the legal procedure in the District Court in Jerusalem. Of course, if, as we hope, the District Court in Jerusalem rules that there are no legal problems in Migron, then of course this whole structure we built with the Ministry of Defense becomes obsolete.
But how are the residents of Migron responding to these reports?
Well, not surprisingly, the residents of Migron are not planning to go anywhere. They do not agree to go ahead with this evacuation, this self-expulsion. Behind me we can see actually the one of the two permanent homes that were built here in Migron. Only two. They say they're looking forward to many more. We spoke with one of the residents here about their plans to expand and about their response to this agreement.
We were sent by the State of Israel to establish a community. We established a big community and we are staying. I hope that people will be courageous, faithful, and build more homes here. Today, Migron is a symbol of the moral justification our nation has on its land, a symbol of transforming the desert, a symbol of Jewish labor, and a symbol of many important values.
Aaron, when relating to what's going on here in Migron, it's also important to mention what happened not far away from here in Amona, a very violent activity there of demolishing a few permanent homes that were built there. This happened a few years ago. Since then, many of the activists are saying that determined struggle against the destroying of the homes there, a struggle which at the end was failed, and the homes were demolished. But the violence of the police there and the whole trauma of that event in Amona is something that will prevent and will make the security forces and the government think twice before just coming and expelling a community here in the Shomron. What will be regarding the community of Migron, only time will tell. But the people here, as I said, are staying, and they're not planning to go anywhere, and they're just planning to build more of these permanent houses.
Now, Yoni, what is the power of Motzat Yesha? Can they make such a deal?
Well, the whole story about the YESHA Council, they began in the beginning working on municipal issues. Then when the expulsion threats began, I'm talking about before Gush Katif even, then of course the council felt responsible and took charge and led many important struggles, but they led it in their own way. There much criticism about the way they held the struggle against the expulsion in Gush Katif, and so no one's really sure what exactly their power is here in Judea and Samaria these days. They call themselves now the new YESHA Council because they brought in many people. But as Aryeh Eldad, member of Knesset, Aryeh Eldad tells us, he thinks that the new YESHA Council is exactly the same as the old one.
I'm afraid that the new Moetzet Yesha and YESHA Council behaves pretty much like the old YESHA Council in the time of the disengagement, where now we all know that they cooperated with the government and prevented all the outrage of the protesters who want to cut the fence of Gush Katif and go and prevent the disengagement. I'm afraid that the new YESHA Council now behave very much similar to the old Moetzet Yesha, and they cooperate with the government to uproot Jewish settlements in Judea and Samaria.
We also spoke with Dani Dayan, head of the YESHA Council, about the power and the status of YESHA Council these days.
I see the YESHA Council as the leadership of the Ityeshvut movement in Yehuda and Shomron. Of course, we don't have and we don't want to have any coercive means. In the past, the most crucial decisions were taken by 2 or 3 people in a closed room. This time, all of the procedure was public. We took a vote, more than 20 prominent persons from the Ityeshvut, representing a vast and heterogeneous parts of our communities, and in a democratic way. If the government fulfills its part in this agreement, then we will suggest, we will recommend the people of Migron to fulfill their part. But as I said, we have no coercive methods, and we don't, even if we had, we wouldn't use them. Only persuasion.
If someone signs a document agreeing for us to move from here, he does not represent us. We hope they will represent us, the people in the YESHA Council. They have many merits, even specifically in the establishment of Migron. Anyhow, we are here.
Yoni Kapinski, thank you very much.